Greg here with MaritimeGardening.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really quick and easy 3-bean salad. It's a really good side dish to add to a lot of different kinds of meals when there's just like an extra mouth to feed, or that you're not quite sure if you've got enough food for everyone. You whip this thing up really quick and you'll have everything you need. Everybody will be satisfied. It's a really tasty side dish and really, really easy to make. And just a quick note before we start, this cooking video is brought to you by True Classic T-shirts, trueclassic.com. They make a wide range of shirts, not just black T-shirts, different colors, different designs, button-up, V-neck, long sleeve. You know, they have a wide range of different things you can wear, but they're sort of specially designed to flatter the figure. Sort of like tight around the top and a bit of room around the, where one's 6-pack might have been, but now maybe it's a 1-pack. So they're a flattering T-shirt for the discerning man, and I really like these. So maybe check that out, have a look at those guys, trueclassic.com. Maybe buy some shirts. I think they've always got some sort of deal on, check that out. Anyway, let's get started here. So the recipe I'm gonna do today is just a 1-can dish, okay? So it's just a quick, you're throwing together a meal and you've got everything all laid out, and then maybe an extra person shows up, or maybe you just don't think there's quite enough. You make this extra side dish, it helps to stretch the meal out. I've done lots of different podcasts talking about the price of food, price of groceries, and that sort of stuff. So this one video on how to deal with all of that. Okay, so all you need is a can of beans. I like to add a cup of frozen corn. That's a pretty cheap thing to have. You need red pepper. You can use green pepper, use any pepper you want. I like red because it's a nice contrasting color. And 1 small onion, or like half an onion this size. You need some salt, some pepper, some sugar, vinegar, oil, and a little bit, something hot, like hot sauce, or just, this is sambal, but basically like crushed chilies, that sort of thing, right? So let's get started. So the first thing I like to do is actually mix up the sauce that goes in all of it, because I find you get a better flavor with the sauce if you add it to the diced up onion. So I mean, you can use as much onion as you like, but I find for this quantity, half an onion is enough, and maybe you might find a 1/4 onion is enough. Right? It really depends on how oniony you like things. So we're just going to cut this up very finely, right? As mince it up as fine as you can get it, right? Nothing too fancy about mincing up an onion. All right, so we get that cut up nice and fine. Okay, I'll throw that in the bowl. The reason I like to do this first is so that we get a good onion flavor. I mean, basically, it's beans and some vegetables with a vinaigrette. That's the idea. So I like to put the onions in first with the vinaigrette because it helps to, the flavor of the onion goes into the vinaigrette. Okay, so we're going to put half a teaspoon of salt, right? And half a teaspoon of pepper, which I think is about, come on now, about 20 cranks. Okay. Or until your wrists and your arms get sore. All right, there we go, some pepper. And I'm gonna add about half a teaspoon of something hot and spicy. You don't have to do this. This is all, this is what I like, right? So we get all that in there. Sugar, we want a 1/4 cup of sugar for this recipe. Okay, 1/4 cup of sugar. And for the oil, we want a 1/4 cup of oil. You can use more or less depending on your taste. Okay. And for the vinegar, I'm just using regular old vinegar. You can use whatever fanciful vinegar you like. Okay, but I'm not going to put a 1/4 cup. I'm going to put like less than a 1/4 cup, right? Like 3/4 of a 1/4 cup. I don't have a measure for that, but you just eyeball it. It doesn't matter if you don't get it right. But like 2/3 or 3/4 of a 1/4 cup, however many tablespoons that is. I'm sure there's some perfect measure, but basically less than a full 1/4 cup of oil, less than a 1/4 cup of vinegar is about right. Okay. So that's, I believe, all we need for the vinaigrette. You just mix it all up. And it doesn't hurt to actually smush the onion a little bit and just get that all mixed up really good. Okay, and this is before we add all the other ingredients. Just so that the salt and the sugar and everything else can combine with the onion to get that nice, good flavor. Okay. Now we're going to add some celery. I think 2 stalks is good. You can add 1 stalk, 3 stalks, whatever you want. All right, so a couple stalks of celery. I mean, this is Southern cooking. I'm not a man of the South, but I love the food. I love a lot about it. So, you know, again, you want to cut these things fairly fine. At least for me anyway. I don't like having like big, chunky, crunchy pieces. I like everything sort of small. All right, so you cut that up nice and fine. Celery. There's a lot of different kinds of Southern cooking will have those pepper, celery, onion, right? What they call a holy trinity. All right, so we got our celery here. We can throw that in with the sauce as well. Give it another little mix. Okay, now we'll do our red pepper. All right, lots of different ways to cut up a pepper. Maybe I'll show you the way I do this, because everybody's got a different way they do these sorts of things. And often these things seem much more complicated than they are. Let me show you how I cut up a pepper. All right, so for me, I go from the bottom to the top, and I sort of pull it open. So you can see I cut it off relatively close to the shoulder, right? And this way you avoid the seeds, right? The seeds are all intact because I'm just working around it with my chef's knife, right? Okay, so now we've got that apart, right? Now I can take one of these, cut it in long, thin strips, like that, right? And then, right, and cut it up. Nice and small again. Now you can do this with half a pepper, right? You can add as much as you like. For 1 can of bean, I find 1 pepper is good, but you can, if you only got half a pepper, use that. And of course you don't have to have a red pepper, you can use whatever you got. Green's nice as well, but we got the green celery, right? This is one of these colorful dishes where you want different colors. I mean, there's lots of permutations of it, lots of different ways to make it. But I like as many contrasting colors as I can get in there. I've tried making this adding peas to it, and it just doesn't taste right. I don't know why, but, and I've noticed that my wife and kids, they don't go back for, you know, you always know if people like your food if they go back for seconds. No one ever goes back for seconds when you put peas in a 3-bean salad. So I've put green beans in it, blanched, like snap beans, fresh from the garden, for a nice green color. Anyway, so now we got a nice red. So we got the green of the celery, we got the red of the pepper, okay, and we got corn. All right, now that we've added the corn, we can just mix that all up a little bit, and we need to add our beans. So this is just 1 can of beans, rinsed off. You want to rinse off all that stuff that comes with it. This is a combination, it's mixed, what does it say? 6-bean blend. So I don't know every kind of bean that's in it, but I can see chickpea, I can see kidney bean, I can see like a white, almost like a navy bean. You know, there's a variety, right? And of course, if you're going to a picnic and you want to bring like a big dish, you can just scale this up, right? Use a whole can of black beans. I like putting black beans in, like turtle beans, because again, it's another nice contrasting color. It's a shame this 6-bean salad doesn't have that. But it's got yellow-eyed pea. It's got a bunch of different ones, right? So it still makes a reasonably appealing look. Now the trick with this is that you want to make this like half an hour, or even hours before your meal. Just to allow the sugar and all the different components in the vinaigrette to work their way into the beans and all the things you've added to the salad. Just, you know, so the flavors come together. Not only are they absorbed into the vinaigrette, but they're absorbed into the different components of the salad, right? So you can make this the day before, you can make this at lunch if it's for supper, and you can make it right up to like half an hour before you serve it, okay? But you do want to give it some time. All right, but let me just put this in a pretty little serving dish. So this is just from one can of beans, right? And I mean these are large bowls that we use for, like, you know, we're having noodle soup and stuff like that. But I find one of these bowls, if it's full, it's enough for a side dish for 4 to 6 people, right? Depending on, you know, how how greedy people get. And you can jazz this up. You can add cumin to this. You can it really depends on your preference, your proclivities. There's various herbs you can add to it. But this is the basic recipe, right? Just like this, right? Right. So I mean, we've got a good amount of salad here. This is enough for everybody. And again, it's a bean salad, so people don't want to load up on it because, you know, beans. If you don't know about beans, you'll figure it out. But it's a really tasty, sweet side dish. Any of the components of the vinaigrette that I've suggested for this salad, and I'll put them up on the screen, and I'll put them in the description box of the video. You can dial them up or dial them down depending on your taste. I find these ratios work pretty well, right? We've got equal amounts of oil and sugar, slightly less vinegar, and some salt and some pepper and something. I like something a little bit spicy, you know, to give it a little bit of punch. But anyway, that's how you do it. I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and until next time, have fun in your garden, have fun in your kitchen. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you want to help support everything I'm doing here, go to vessies.com to buy whatever you need for your garden this year. And use my coupon code GAVS23 to get free shipping as long as there's a pack of seeds in the order and there's no oversized items in the order. Check out the description box of this video for details. You can buy everything you need from Vessies. They have seeds, fruit bushes and trees, soil amendments, pest solutions, tools, clothing, and lots of other stuff too. So yeah, if you want to help support everything I'm doing here and they sell something you need, buy it from them using my coupon code, and happy gardening.